Hello, 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 and welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream happening every week, usually on Thursdays. I'm your host, Leslie Klein, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me, whether you're watching live or during the replay. I'm so glad that you're here. So, this is the Good Vibes Lifestyle. This is where we come together to explore practical tools to help us live with higher vibration, with clarity and intention. So we're diving into some powerful cosmic energies as we move through this waning moon phase towards the new moon that will be in the sign of Aries on April 17th. So, as always, the show is about raising our vibration, empowering ourselves, and co creating a beautiful life together. So if you're watching live, please say hello. Just tell me where you're watching from. That's always awesome. And, just chat, give me your opinions, any responses, any questions, any comments throughout the show, because this is about a conversation, not just a one way street. So I am streaming live to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I do distribute these on Spotify as well. So you can check out old episodes there or on my YouTube channel. So let's get into it and into the astrological news. Um, so the sun is in Aries. I always like to start with the sun because that's the center of our galaxy here. And the sun is in the sign of Aries, and that started on March 20th, which was also the beginning of the spring season. So, Aries season is all about new beginnings, courage, and taking action. That's why this is a very powerful month, April. You know, the fact that it's the spring and the beginning of the whole new uh, zodiac. Um, Annual new year starts on March 20th with the sign of Aries. So, right now, we're in a very rare cosmic moment because every planet is moving direct. So, when all the planets are direct, the universe tends to support forward movement, momentum, and progress. It's a time where ideas and intentions can manifest more easily because there's less energetic resistance. So, basically, everything's moving forward. There are no planets in retrograde until May 4th when Pluto goes retrograde. So, between now and May 4th, we've got all of the planetary energy moving forward, which is really good news, which is really great for taking action, starting those new projects, creating new lives, really recreating our lives. So let's talk about this waning moon cycle. So the waning moon phase, this is where we're moving from the full moon, which happened about a week ago on April 1st in the sign of Libra. When we're moving from the full moon stage to the new moon stage, this is called the waning moon because the moon is getting smaller. The light that we see on the moon is getting smaller and smaller. And how interesting is it that we've got the Artemis expedition happening where they're going and checking out the moon, taking pictures. Although some people wonder if it's really a real thing that's happening or if it's all stagecraft. So I assumed it was true, but because there is so much, oh my goodness, um, untruths in the world or things that are fake happening, we really need to use our discernment to know what is true and what isn't. And this is for us to determine individually. But whether you believe the Artemis 2 is happening or not, I'm going to stay curious to it. I'm assuming what they're telling us is true, but I'm not 100%. But anyway, about this um, waning moon phase, when we move from the full moon to the new moons are all about setting intentions, starting new projects, and planting seeds for the future. And because it is in the sign of Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, and it's a fire energy, and we're in the Aries season, this energy supports bold new beginnings, not just new beginnings, but bold new beginnings. It also has to do with leadership and also stepping into your authentic self. You may want to think you may want to begin thinking about what new chapter are you ready to begin, because we've got this new moon, and new moons are all about new beginnings. And Lily Flutter, I want to fluter maybe. You say fantastic. So thanks for commenting. I appreciate that. Um, okay, so one reason that April feels so powerful, it's that many planetary energies are moving forward rather than retrograde, like I said, which supports progress, movement, and manifestation. So this month is ideal for launching projects, for taking courageous action, for aligning with your purpose. So think of April as a cosmic green light, go, all systems go. And again, Pluto goes retrograde on May 4th. So when that happens, then we won't have all planets going retrograde, forward, direct rather. So just beware now, between now and May 4th, all the energies are for us. Another big shift that's happening today specifically is Mars. Mars is moving into the sign of Aries as well. And, Mars is kind of known as a planet of war, but it's also a planet of action, of energy, and it's a male energy, versus Venus, which is more of the feminine aspect and energy. So, um, because Mars is moving into Aries today, this transit brings motivation, courage, bold action, standing up for what matters. And it's a powerful initiation energy that encourages us to take action on our dreams. So consider all these things as I lead you through a meditation that I will a little bit later in the show. So that's what we've got with the planets in the sky. And let's now move a little, uh, shift a little bit into UFO disclosure. So, as you know, for the last couple of years, really, I have had a segment here about UAP and UFO disclosure, because there's lots happening. And I believe this is like our next step in humanity and evolution is, learning and being more open to ET contact, our star family contact. And, this is important. So last week, I told you that members of Congress, specifically Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, demanded that the Pentagon and Arrow release dozens of classified UFO videos by April 14th. So she put a deadline to it. And she says that these objects had been seen during sensitive military airspace operations. And so that's a big news that they're requesting that this information be disclosed from the Pentagon. So, and we have a deadline. So let's see what happens by April 14th. How they're going to respond will be really interesting to see. The other big news that happened was Representative Tim Burchett from Tennessee. He put legislation forth this past week to defund Arrow, and Arrow is the anomalous. Oh gosh, now I'm not going to remember the name of what it stands for. Arrow, AARO, which is the office that the Pentagon and Congress created that was supposed to be where all the whistleblowers were supposed to go and give their information and their testimony to. But the problem with Arrow, the person, Sean Kirkpatrick, I believe his name is, who was head of that, they were just hiding all the information. They were not, they were taking the information, they were classifying it. So the whistleblowers then were kind of trapped. They couldn't talk about what they were trying to put forward. And so, because of all the corruption really within Arrow, and I think that the deep state powers that be, the ones really in control of all of this UFO disclosure, that are the shadow government that's, has their hands on this technology, and they're using it in our military system. They, anyway, what was I trying to say? They kind of took over Arrow, or maybe Arrow was always part of them, but they kind of just, it was another way to squash the investigation into UAPs. So we'll see what happens now with Arrow, and if that legislation goes forward. But that's, I think, a really big piece. So we still don't have full transparency, but the pressure is building across the board. The big news coming up on in May is that, let me make this bigger. Dr. Stephen Greer has his 25th anniversary of the historic 2001 Disclosure Project press event. This is happening at the National Press Club on May 8th from 2 to 5 p.m. So if you can go live in person, it's like $50 to get in. And I think I also saw that they were live streaming that part as well. So if they do, I am considering doing a restream of that while it's happening live, maybe doing some commentary. Not sure yet, but that's on May 8th. And on May 9th, he has another 4-hour presentation that people can attend. And I think, I'm trying to remember if that was free if you were in person or not. But if you want to watch it online, you can watch it online for just $25. So at this new Disclosure Project press event, he has a new Green Beret whistleblowers revealing man-made crafts and artifacts. He has new whistleblowers coming forward, new information coming forward. He's going to talk about the Bugosphere that came from Buga, Colombia, that has been carbon dated to be over 12,500 years old. He also has top secret whistleblowers confirming illegal electromagnetic pulse weapons that are used to down the ET craft. So our government, or parts of our government, or the shadow government, whoever has been in charge of this technology, has been taking down the ET craft, and so that they can reverse engineer the technology that they get from the craft. And they've been doing this for years. And let's see, they're going to also talk about the use of man-made UFOs in human trafficking and experimentation, because unfortunately, they have been grabbing people from around the world, especially third world countries, and using those people for psionic, like remote viewing and psychic things, for weapons for military purposes. So anyway, this is happening. Put it on your calendar. If you can go on May 8th, that would be awesome. If not, try to check it out online. I'm not probably going to be able to go on the 8th, but I'm definitely going to be watching online the 4-hour presentation on that Saturday on the 9th. So check it out. Now, Stephen Greer also has this a new film out called The New Frontier of Contact. And I have a tiny URL that you can use to actually get to it. It goes to my Amazon store, where you can actually rent or purchase this film called CE5, The New Frontier of Contact. And CE5, of course, stands for Close Encounter of the Fifth Kind. And, you've heard Close Encounter of the First Kind, the second, third, all the way to the fifth. Close Encounters of the movie was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind means we are reaching out for communication with our ET family, where we're initiating that. And he has a whole protocol. He has an app called CE5 that you can actually download. It has guided meditations on there, the different sounds you can use, and even ways to contact other people in the area who are doing CE5 groups, so you can kind of get in with that community. So anyway, check it out. In the CE5 movie, he follows a group that went through the CE5 protocol over a weekend or a week or so. And it was really, I watched the movie. It was very good. And I have not yet done a CE5 myself with a group. I've tried doing the meditations and stuff on my own, but I think I'm still a little too chicken, because if I really did see something, I think I would freak out. And I think that's the problem that we have. We are so programmed to be afraid of things that we don't know, And anyway, so I'm being honest, right? So anyway, check out drstephengreer.com, his website. You can find all kinds of information on there, especially information about his National Press Club. That's going to be in DC on May 9th. So check it out. I love Dr. Stephen Greer. He has really been the the beginning of disclosure in our country and really across the world. Okay, so I want to share with you Galactic Good Vibes, which is a new series that I'm doing on Good Vibes TV. It's an ET experiencer series. And so, if you're enjoying these conversations about consciousness, disclosure, and humanity's place in the cosmos, be sure to check out this series. Um, this is where I explore UAP disclosure, humanity's galactic future, conscious contact, and spiritual evolution. So, if you haven't seen the latest episode, check it out. I have episode 2, part 2 has been released. And the way you can get to that is just go to tinyurl.com/GGV for Galactic Good Vibes Briggs, Briggs 2. And that it would be for part 2 that just released this week. If you want to see part 1, it's the same tiny URL, but you just need to change the 2 to a 1. There'll be a part 3 next week releasing, and then the week after that, all the episodes will be together. All the parts will be together for one big episode. It's like an hour and a half long. So that's why I broke it out into 20 to 30-minute episodes. But there's so much information with this. Kevin Briggs is an ET experiencer who has channeled and has contact with the Council of Eight, which are 8 different beings, 6 different ET species, and fascinating information. Just watch the video and let me know what you think, because it's just fascinating stuff. All right. Well, next up, let's talk a little bit about Citizens for Disclosure, which is the grassroots arm of the New Paradigm Institute, which is the group that has been with Danny Sheehan, who he's the president of the New Paradigm Institute. And the grassroots arm are all of the volunteers. There are over 4,000 volunteers with the Citizens for Disclosure. And so we are working on a transparency pledge, which I did share a couple weeks ago, which I can share again maybe the next episode. But this transparency pledge is where all of us volunteers are reaching out to our over 500 congresspeople, both the House and also the Senate, and also any candidates running for office. We are reaching out to them to see if they will take this transparency pledge. And this is a UAP transparency, meaning unidentified anomalous phenomena, where we want the government to release the files, just like Trump wanted that he put in a post, but a post is not the same as an executive order or a law. Anyway, and even if we do have laws, are they being enforced? But I won't even go there because we're staying positive, right? Okay. So, but one of the actions you can take through New Paradigm Institute, go to this tiny URL, .com/capital GVTV WHCTA, and that stands for White House Call to Action. And this is where it's like a petition that we are asking President Trump to put his money where his mouth is and make that post an executive order to really demand full disclosure. So that's what that's all about. And then this is the campaign that we're working on for Citizens for Disclosure right now. A lot of other stuff happening in the disclosure world with the anticipation of Steven Spielberg's movie called Disclosure Day. We had Age of Disclosure movie come out last November, which I've talked about. Of course, Steven Greer's film on CE5. And then there's also a greater reality film, which will be coming out hopefully in the next couple of months before June, before the Spielberg movie, which is all about consciousness. And Kevin Briggs and Melanie Barton, who I'm interviewing in this ET series, ET Experiencer series, they are both in this film. So when that comes out, I will let you know. All right. Now, the other thing I want to share with you is this year's 2026 Food Revolution Summit is happening, and this is happening April 22nd to the 29th. And this is a free event. It's in 8 days of like 41 different experts that are going to be talking about the latest groundbreaking news in food, nutrition, and wellness. You'll receive free access to expert led episodes that simplify complex health topics and present cutting edge, peer reviewed science in a clear and actionable format. I have been attending these and promoting these events for the last several years since I've known about them. And they really have been, um, wonderful. Let me get the trailer here to share with you um, what this summit is all about. This is Ocean Robbins.
Or a parent or any loved one isn't doing so well, the only goal becomes making them better, taking away their pain, and finding answers that don't require endless drugs or surgery. What if the essential answer so many are looking for was simple, inexpensive, and widely available? What if it was backed by concrete science and medical research? What if someone could help you cut through all the misinformation and noise about health solutions and finally get to the truth? This is why I brought together over 40 of the world's most renowned doctors, scientists, activists, and nutritionists to give you the most up-to-date news about what can be done to prevent, to treat, maybe even to reverse major diseases for yourself and for the people you love most. That includes natural, drug-free methods for pain relief, a clearer mind, an energized body, and a whole lot more. Because the essential answer all along was simple, inexpensive, wholesome, chemical-free food. Join in our 8-part docuseries, The Food Revolution Summit, The Science of Food and Wellness. We will tackle what to eat and what not to eat to support your brain, anti-inflammation, your heart, beating cancer, your metabolism, your gut, longevity. In the 2026 Food Revolution Summit docuseries, The Science of Food and Wellness, you'll find out which foods could be hazardous to your health. Spoiler alert, some of them are often thought to be health foods. We'll also show you the specific foods that can prevent and even reverse the world's most devastating illnesses. You'll discover the truth about what's going on behind the scenes as the food and medical industries make trillions of dollars profiting from a system that is causing suffering to millions. Heal and protect yourself, your family, and your planet. Join over 300,000 healthy food lovers for the food and health event of the year, the Food Revolution Summit docuseries.
And I'm going to give you a link that you can use. Here it is. To actually join the summit, you sign up. Just give them your name and email, first name. It doesn't have to be the full name. Also, your phone number if you'd like to get reminded by text when these happen. So that tiny URL is tinyurl.com/capital GVTV 2026 FRN Summit for Food Revolution Network Summit. And check it out. It is free for 8 days. He has a segment in the beginning that's about 15 minutes long where he does Q&A with Ocean Robbins. And I've learned something every year. I've done it. Is also their recipes. And it's just great because food is really medicine. And this is one way that we can really improve the vibration of our bodies by eating high vibration foods, which are basically foods that have life force in them, things that are fresh. So that's what I've got for you regarding that. And I'll mention it again until we get to the event. All right, my friends, now it is time for a meditation. I've added this because, things are just getting nuttier and nuttier in the world. And it's more and more important, I think, that we learn and almost become automatic to shift from our conscious, ego to the subconscious and, from our brain to our heart to really integrate our heart and our brain and to have that coherence. And one of the best ways to do that is by doing meditations. And this is a guided meditation, and there are many meditations to use that you can follow. Just silent meditations where you're just listening to sound or listening to your breath. But it's really important to do meditation, and the ones that are guided or have their place as well. because I think it helps us access the answers from within. So, right now we're in the waning phase of the moon. This is the sacred time from when sacred time after the full moon when we're invited to integrate the lessons, release old energy, and create space for the next cycle, which begins on the new moon. So let's take a few moments together to slow down, connect with our hearts, and gently integrate the wisdom of the recent full moon. And let me get my music happening here. Hopefully, you're not getting sick of this. I like it. I may change it up. So, yeah, something a little bit different. All right. So this meditation is called integrating the full moon energy. And if you're able to, if you're driving or operating heavy equipment, do not do this meditation. Just watch the replay when you have the time. So if you're able to, gently close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath through your nose. Slowly exhale. Again, breathe in deeply and release. Allow your shoulders to soften. Relax your face. Let your breath settle into a calm and natural rhythm. Now imagine yourself standing beneath a peaceful night sky. Above you is the moon, gradually waning, getting smaller as after the recent full moon. Its light slowly softening as we move toward the new moon in Aries on April 17th. The full moon brings illumination. It reveals truths, emotions, and insights that help us grow. And now, during this waning phase, we are invited to integrate those insights. Take a moment to gently reflect. What did the recent full moon illuminate for you? Perhaps it revealed something about your relationships, your priorities, or the direction your life is moving. There's no need to analyze or judge. Simply allow whatever awareness came forward to rest gently in your heart. Now imagine the soft moonlight surrounding you like a peaceful cocoon of silver light. With every inhale, you are absorbing in wisdom from the experiences of the past weeks. With every exhale, you are releasing tension, confusion, or emotional weight. Breathing in integration, breathing out release. Now bring your awareness to your heart center. Imagine a warm golden light glowing there, the light of your inner wisdom. Allow this light to gently blend with the soft moonlight around you. Together, these energies help you integrate the lessons of the full moon with love and compassion. Silently repeat after me. I honor the insights that have been revealed to me. I integrate these lessons with wisdom and grace. I release what no longer serves my highest path. As the moon continues to wane in the coming days, imagine old energies gently falling away, like leaves drifting from a tree. This clearing creates space for the powerful new moon in Aries, a time of fresh beginnings, courage, and inspired action. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel gratitude for the cycles of the moon and the wisdom they bring into our lives. Gratitude for the growth you're experiencing, and gratitude for the beautiful new possibilities that are forming for you now. Take one final deep breath in and gently release it. When you are ready, bring your awareness back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes and slowly open your eyes. As we move through this waning moon phase, remember, integration is just as powerful as action. Allow the wisdom of the full moon to settle into your heart as we prepare for the beautiful new beginnings of the Aries New Moon on April 17th. So as you come back fully into the moment, into the room, take a moment to notice how you feel. Do you feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more peaceful, and hopefully a little bit more open to the wisdom that's unfolding during this waning moon phase? So how was that for you? I will listen to these later, and it's kind of interesting because it's my voice. You know, they always say that it's when you're doing affirmations and things like that, you can actually record them in your own voice and then listen to them. Listen to them before you go to bed or this kind of thing. And that is even more impactful because you have it in your voice. So your subconscious, I guess, picks up on that a little bit better. But anyway, so that was our meditation. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Was it helpful? And so now it's the great time to get into our spread of the week. Now that we've kind of tuned in, we can pull some cards. And this book called 111 Oracle Spreads for Every Day by Crystal Banner is available on my Amazon store, and I will put that link in the description. So every week, I've been sharing a spread instead of doing an oracle, focusing on an oracle or tarot card deck for the month. I've switched it this year to do spreads. And so for the month of January, we were doing 1 card spreads, February 2 card spreads, March 3 card, and now here we're into April and we're doing 4 card spreads. And so and these are from her book, and this is called the Rebuilding Spread. So in this rebuilding spread, the first card represents what is the foundation you are building this new life atop. Card number 2 is what materials and tools do you need to frame out this new life. Card number 3 represents what skills do you need to call upon to start this rebuild. And card 4 is what do you have to look forward to after this work. So, and I have a comment. Oh, Carolyn. Thanks, Carolyn. She says, thank you for this peaceful meditation. Thank you, Carolyn. I hope you're doing well. All right. And hopefully this card reading will work too. And let me show you what the card spread is. So 1 through 4, that's what it looks like when you're laying them out. So let's ask Spirit for the collective, for whoever's watching, whether you're watching now or on the replay. Let's pull these 4 cards. So card number 1 represents what foundation are you building this new life atop. I'm just going to pull the cards first and ask spirits to give us the guidance that we need. All right, so the first card is all that glitters, and we got this last week, which is kind of interesting. So, what is the foundation you are building this new life atop? All that glitters. Interesting. Because all that glitters is an interesting card. The essential meaning is a need to know, a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. So, I guess really the message here with this card and this card position is to make sure that what you're building your life on is not just something superficial. That's what that card represents. Is superficiality, shiny things, glittery things, the bling. And we don't want to build a foundation on something that's not true or that's fake. Card number 2, what materials and tools do you need to frame out this new life? And this is interesting. We got this. I love flamingos, of course, being a Floridian. Between worlds, card number 3. So, card number 3 means transitions, not being quite out of one situation and fully gauged into another. Temporary blindness, a no man's land. I'm going to read a little bit more about this message. Between the worlds is where you must let go of the tendency to make assumptions. This is a time when you are unable to see what is ahead. Cultivate curiosity and trust the process of change and growth. You are done learning the lessons of recent experiences. In this place, between what was and what will be, is a state of making and unmaking and making again. What is essential now is to admit not knowing. There is great freedom and power to be unleashed. A mystery that is not yours to understand weaves the web of life. Within a divine matrix of consciousness greater than your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, desires, and decisions, the seeds that were planted in the past begin to take root. But what surfaces will probably not be what you expect. When you are between the worlds, you are invited to see with the curious eyes of a child glimpsing a rainbow for the first time. Do so, and you will not be disappointed. So that represents what materials and tools do you need to frame out this new life. Interesting. Because we are in that transition period, right? We're moving into the spring. All right, so card number 3. What skills do you need to call upon to start this rebuild? Interesting. And again, I can actually say this. These are the cards by Colette Baron Reed, and it's called The Wisdom of the Oracle Pocket Deck. These are the small cards. So this is message in a bottle, if it will somehow get in focus. What skills do you need to call upon to start this rebuild? Message in a bottle. And I have not worked with these cards a whole lot, so I can't just kind of interpret. I mean, I can kind of interpret the cards, but I haven't worked with them that much. Message in the bottle, the meaning is communication, a sign, a cleidon, which is an ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. What skills do you need to call upon to restart this rebuild? Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today, your message is this: Spirit hears you and the reply is favorable. So, skills, I think, is asking spirit for direction and signs and symbols, um, but also to listen, right? We can ask and ask, which is one way, but we have to listen to kind of have the full communication. All right. Card number 4, what you have to look forward to after this work. Perfect. So the card is new life, which is this is the rebuilding spread, right? So after we do this work, we can expect a new life. And this is card 39. I'll read you the message. New life, birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. When spring awakens the world, joy and excitement can be felt all around and in your very core. Blossoms burst from trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious songs, and nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon on all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. Okay, that is the message. So, uh, interesting. Again, I'm trying to put these cards. I'm sorry I don't have a separate camera set up so that you can actually see all the cards in the order they're supposed to be in. So basically, again, the foundation. What foundation are you building this new life atop? We want to make sure that that foundation is not something false, something that just glitters, all that glitters isn't gold. Um, so that's the message from that card. And the materials and growth that we need to frame out this new life. It's between worlds. So to me, that means that in between world space is where you go to when you meditate. So we kind of need to get in that place to get the materials and tools you need, or at least to find out what those are that we need. Um, Card 3, skills you need to call upon to start this rebuild, message in the bottle. And that's asking spirit for direction and asking for the messages and the signs, um, as to what skills you need, but also listening, right? We need the skill to listen, to hear it, to be aware of, to be conscious. And card 4, what you have to look forward to after this work. So after we do all these things, we have a new life to look forward to. So that totally matches up with the energy of the season and what we've been talking about in the show today. So again, if you like these spreads and you want to get the book, this is the book, 111 Oracle Spreads for Every Day by Crystal Banner. And you can get that on my good-vibes.tv show. All right, we're winding down, my friends. Sorry that these shows are getting so long, but I didn't kind of consider that it would get longer with these spreads, because then if I'm going to do 5-card spread, 6-card spreads, the longer the spreads are, the longer it's going to take to go through them. So I didn't quite think that through, which means the shows are going to get a little longer because that portion's going to get longer. So anyway, interesting stuff. All right, so the last week's tip of the week to raise your vibration was to practice energetic balance. And that was all about asking the questions: where in my life am I overgiving? And where might I need to speak my truth more clearly? And this is all about, our energy. We give out energy and we receive energy, right? And we're always having that flow. But sometimes if we're giving too much, more than we're receiving, then we're going to be depleted. And if we're taking too much, then we're giving. That's not good either, because that could, that's what happens when we gain weight. We take in too many calories. So I'm thinking energetically would be the kind of same thing. You get too much energy and it's stagnant. We need to have a flow of give and take that's equal and balanced. And that was what the Libra full moon was all about: energetic balance. So important to be aware of. Am I overgiving or undergiving? Am I giving enough to myself? It's enough, that's matching what I'm putting out there. So I'm recharging my batteries. Um, so that was last week's tip of the week. Now, this week tip of the week is to listen to music with positive affirmations. So um, I have found a couple, well, there are many artists out there, but there is one artist. Let me see if I could share my screen here. A couple artists that came to me this last week that prompted this tip of the week. And here, let me share the screen on Spotify. So the one person that I came across is called Cole Adams, and he um, has several songs that he's written. I found it on a reel, I guess, on YouTube, and so anyway, on Spotify. So, are you seeing my Spotify? I'm good. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to play this short little ditty, and let me know what you think.
All right, we are here to reprogram your subconscious mind for the utmost health and wealth. Let's go! All the cells in my body are healthy. All the cells in my body are healthy. All the cells in my body are healthy, and I am grateful. All the cells in my body are healthy. All the cells in my body are healthy. Why are all the cells in my body so healthy? I am grateful, yeah. I am grateful. I am grateful. All the bones in my body are healthy. All the bones in my body are healthy. All the bones in my body are healthy, and I am grateful. Why are all the bones in my body so healthy? Why are all the bones in my body so healthy? Why are all the bones in my body so healthy? I am grateful, yeah.
So as you can see, it's a real snappy tune that you might start singing to yourself during the day. And just that, how great would that be that we're replaying in our minds, positive affirmations as opposed to negative affirmations. Another artist is Elasa Tiernan, and she's got different music that she's created with a lot of positive affirmations. Let me play one for you.
I don't chase, I attract, I align. Everything I want is already mine. When I soften, when I breathe, I receive. Life responds the moment I believe. I slowed down and the money came in. I let go and I started doing. Now it flows, now it lands, now it stays. I get paid in the most effortless ways. The more I relax, the more I receive. The more I allow, the more I believe. Everything shifts when I choose to be the woman I came here to be. I am her already, I don't have to try. Everything moves when I decide. Money flows easy, it comes to me daily. I get paid just for being me.
Yes, I get paid for just being me. I like that affirmation. All right, so check out Elasa Tiernan, and also, where did he go? Cole Adams.
All right, we are here to reprogram your
And check those out. I know there are many, many more artists out there with positive affirmation music. And so, feel free to share that with me because I'd love, music is so powerful as far as, the universal language. But then when we're adding positive affirmations to those and, repeating those and repeating those with feeling, right, that we get from music and emotion, it's so powerful and can really make a difference. Especially if you're dealing with health any issues in life, changing what you're programming yourself as far as music, so important. So check out these particular artists. and let me know what kind of results you get. All right, my friends. So I want to thank you for spending some time with me today. And remember that your thoughts create your reality, your vibration attracts your experiences, and together we are raising the vibration of the planet. So if you got some positive feedback, or not feedback, but positive information from the show, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. And I'll see you next week for another episode of the Good Vibes Lifestyle. Stay positive, stay conscious, and keep raising your vibration. Peace out, my friends.